Two. Four. पूरा नाइट 4 hours है ना? हाँ।
उस दिन आए थे सेकंड सैटरडे के दिन भी 4 hours।
ओके।
आज मिलाएंगे 4 hours।
ओके। Vestibulo-cochlear nerve. Vestibulo-cochlear nerve. Vision nerve तक कंप्लीट हो गया है ना? Vestibulo-cochlear nerve. Vestibulo-cochlear nerve arises from the sixth nucleus. Totally six nucleus. Cochlear part. First vestibular part. Vestibular part arises from the four nucleus. Vestibular part arises from the four nucleus. Four nucleus. Write down the four nucleus. Number 1, superior vestibular nucleus. Superior vestibular nucleus. Superior vestibular nucleus. And number 2, inferior vestibular nucleus. Inferior vestibular nucleus. Then lateral vestibular nucleus. Lateral vestibular nucleus. Then medial vestibular nucleus. Medial vestibular nucleus. So four nucleus. So from the four nucleus forms a vestibular root. Okay. Next, two nucleus. Anterior cochlear nucleus. Anterior cochlear nucleus. Anterior cochlear nucleus. Number 2, posterior cochlear nucleus. Posterior cochlear nucleus. Anterior cochlear nucleus and posterior cochlear nucleus. These two nucleus forms a fourth nucleus forms the vestibular root and two nucleus forms the cochlear root. These two roots unite to form a vestibulo-cochlear nerve. These two roots unite to form a vestibulo-cochlear nerve. This vestibulo-cochlear nerve passes through the internal acoustic meatus passes through the internal acoustic meatus. Internal acoustic meatus passes through the internal acoustic meatus. First, cochlear vestibular root passes through the internal acoustic meatus. Vestibular root supplies the semicircular canals. Semicircular canals or ducts antami. Semicircular canals. Semicircular ducts or canals. Semicircular canals and utricle, semicircular canals, utricle and saccule. Supplies these three parts. Next, cochlear part. Cochlear part forms a number of ganglions. Called as spiral ganglions. Finally supplies the cochlea. So vestibular root kuda ganglion form chestuna point rayandi. Vestibular root also forms a ganglion called as vestibular ganglion. Vestibular part also forms a ganglion called as vestibular ganglion, then supplies the utricle and saccule and semicircular canals. Then cochlear root forms the spiral ganglions, then finally supplies the cochlea. Are you getting? Yes? Okay. So this one is the vestibulocochlear nerve. 8th nerve completed. Next, 9th nerve. 5 minutes timing. Okay, 5 minutes. Next, only 5 minutes break తీసుకుంటాను. Okay, so next, glossopharyngeal nerve. No, touch. Glossopharyngeal nerve arises from the four nucleus and a 500. Five nucleus arises from the 5 nucleus. Number 1. So ఈ న్యూక్లియస్ పేర్లు అన్ని రాయండి. One more nucleus, spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Totally 5 nucleus, right? Five. If 2 parts are divided as 5. 2 parts 5. Okay. So after formation of the nerve, it is coming out from the pontomedullary junction. Madam. It is arises from the pontomedullary junction. It is arises from the pontomedullary junction. Pontomedullary junction. Pons and medulla. Pontomedullary junction. Pons and medulla. So pontomedullary junction. Then forms the 2 ganglions. It forms the 2 ganglions. Number 1, superior ganglion and inferior ganglion. Forms the 2 ganglion, superior ganglion and inferior ganglion. Passes through the jugular foramina. Passes through the jugular foramina. Passes through the jugular foramina. Jugular. Passes through the jugular foramina. It gives a number 1, first branch. It gives a tympanic nerve. It gives a number 1, tympanic nerve. Tympanic nerve supplies the middle ear cavity. Tympanic nerve supplies the middle ear cavity. Number 2, second branch. It gives a branch to carotid sinus. Branch to carotid sinus. Gives a second branch to carotid sinus. Next, third branch. Branch to stylopharyngeus muscle. Third branch to stylopharyngeus muscle. Supplies the stylopharyngeus muscle. Stylopharyngeus now supplies the stylopharyngeus muscle. Stylopharyngeus muscle. Next, tonsillar branch. Next branch is the tonsillar branch. Supplies the palatine tonsil. Supplies the palatine tonsil. Supplies the palatine tonsil. Next branch is the lingual branch. Lingual supplies the posterior 1/3 part of the tongue. Lingual branch supplies the posterior 1/3 part of the tongue. Posterior 1/3 part of the tongue. Next, pharyngeal branches. Pharyngeal branches supplies the pharynx. Pharyngeal branches supplies the pharynx. Supplies the pharynx. And then, so this one is the glossopharyngeal nerve. Next, come to the 10th nerve, vagus nerve. 10th nerve is the vagus. Vagus nerve. See the vagus nerve nucleus. Number 1, nucleus ambiguous. Nucleus ambiguous 1. Nucleus ambiguous. And number 2, dorsal vagus nucleus. Dorsal vagal nucleus. Okay. Next, number 3, spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Okay. Next, nucleus of solitary tract. Nucleus of solitary tract, upper part. Nucleus of solitary tract, upper part. Next, nucleus of solitary tract, lower part, means inferior part. Inferior part. So these are the nucleus. Okay, forms the nerve. Forms the nerve called as vagus nerve. Vagus nerve arises from the medulla oblongata. It is arises from the medulla oblongata. Arises from the medulla oblongata. After formation of the nerve, it runs downwards. After formation of the nerve, it runs downwards. Forms are two ganglions. Number 1, superior ganglion. Superior ganglion and inferior ganglion. Superior ganglion and inferior ganglion passes through the rostrum point, passes through the jugular foramina wire. Passes through the jugular foramina. Gives us two ganglia, superior ganglion and inferior ganglion. Superior ganglion gives a one branch. That is a auricular branch. Auricular branch supplies the ear. Auricular branch supplies the ear. Next, inferior ganglion gives a pharyngeal branch. Pharyngeal branch supplies the pharynx. Next, it gives a one branch to carotid body. और carotid sinus भी बोल सकते हैं उसको. Carotid body बोल सकते हैं, नहीं तो carotid sinus बोलते हैं. Gives the one branch to carotid sinus. Next branch. Gives the one branch to larynx. One branch to larynx called as superior laryngeal branch. Superior laryngeal branch. This superior laryngeal branch divides into two. Superior laryngeal branch divides into two. External laryngeal nerve, external laryngeal nerve, external laryngeal nerve, and internal laryngeal nerve, external laryngeal nerve and internal laryngeal nerve. External laryngeal nerve supplies the cricothyroid muscle. External laryngeal nerve supplies the cricothyroid muscle. Supplies the cricothyroid. See a cricothyroid muscle. External laryngeal nerve gives the one branch to cricothyroid. Internal laryngeal nerve supplies the inner part of the larynx. Internal laryngeal nerve supplies the inner part of the larynx. Next branch. Next branch is a recurrent laryngeal nerve. Next branch is a recurrent laryngeal nerve. Recurrent laryngeal nerve. Recurrent laryngeal nerve. Recurrent means runs above. So right side अलग है, left side अलग है. पहले right का लिखो. Right recurrent laryngeal nerve. Right recurrent laryngeal nerve. See here. Observe this picture. So this one is a recurrent branch. Above जा रहे ना. So this one is a recurrent branch. This is the right side. Right side it winds the brachiocephalic trunk. Then enters into the tracheoesophageal group. ट्रेकिया के इसोफेगस के दोनों को बीच में जा रहे हैं. सप्लाइज द ट्रेकिया एंड इसोफेगस. ये राइट साइड है. लेफ्ट साइड क्या हो रहा है देखो. सो लेफ्ट साइड recurrent laryngeal nerve winds the arch of aorta, then enters into the tracheoesophageal group, supplies the trachea and esophagus. Okay, first right one लिखो. Right recurrent laryngeal nerve winds the brachiocephalic trunk. Winds the brachiocephalic trunk. This is brachiocephalic trunk. It winds the brachiocephalic trunk. Then enters into the tracheoesophageal groove. Enters into the tracheoesophageal groove. Supplies the trachea and esophagus. It supplies the trachea and esophagus. Are you getting? Next, left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Left side. Left recurrent laryngeal nerve winds wind అంటే తిరుగుతుంది. Left recurrent laryngeal nerve winds the arch of aorta. It winds the arch of aorta, enters into the tracheoesophageal groove. Enters into the tracheoesophageal groove. Supplies the trachea and esophagus. Supplies the trachea and esophagus. Are you getting? Next, esophagus. Next, it runs downwards It runs downwards, gives cervical cardiac branches. Cervical cardiac branches. Gives the cervical cardiac branches. Cervical cardiac. Cervical means neck and near the greater vessels. See here, arch of aorta arises from the near the neck like that. So it supplies the cervical and is cervical. So heart is cervical part and so cervical cardiac branches supplies the heart. Supplies the heart. Forms a pulmonary plexus. Forms a pulmonary plexus. Supplies the lungs. Forms the pulmonary plexus. Supplies the lungs. Then pierces the diaphragm. Pierces the diaphragm. Enters into the abdominal cavity. Enters into the abdominal cavity. The abdominal cavity, vagus nerve supplies the foregut and midgut. Vagus nerve supplies the foregut parts and midgut parts. So foregut part, midgut part, and line right. Number one, esophagus. It supplies the esophagus. Number two, esophagus tarde stomach. Stomach. Duodenum. Jejunum. Jejunum. Ileum. Duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Appendix. Appendix. Cecum. Appendix. Cecum. Cecum. Next, ascending colon. Ascending colon. Transverse colon. Right to two-third part. Right to two-third part. Okay, are you getting? Next, liver. It supplies the liver. Gallbladder. Pancreas. Spleen. Spleen. So, and part of kidney and right. Part of kidney. So these are the branches that supplies the complete thoracic and abdominal viscera up to foregut and midgut viscera parts. Okay, are you getting? Next, come to the next nerve. 11th nerve. 11th nerve is a